Welcome to Healing Whole, the podcast. I'm your host, Callie. I'm a certified personal trainer and fitness instructor. I also happen to be extremely passionate about holistic living. With close to 10 years of experience, I've worked with clients from all walks of life. I also know a healthy and holistic lifestyle can be a little overwhelming. I'm here to break it down for you and take you on my journey to healing whole. Remember, the materials and content within this podcast are intended as general information only and are not to be considered a substitute for medical advice or treatment. Hello, and welcome to Healing Whole, the podcast, episode 27. I'm here with Sara of Learn and Grow with Sara Jo. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good. I went to go eat lunch, and it took forever to eat my lunch. I didn't have time to eat lunch, so I'm actually hungry. So I'm probably going to be even more hungry after we talk about what we're talking about right now. So we're going to get into intuitive eating and what intuitive eating is all about, which is something that I've found recently, and it's very interesting. I like it a lot. But first off, I always ask the same question. How did you get into this holistic way of living?
I guess I got into it through having my own health issues.
Okay.
Physical health issues and mental health. I've always I couldn't find my way in the typical medical field. Having a doctor help me because I have fibromyalgia. And I have depression, anxiety, and I'm in constant pain.
Mm-hmm.
And there really aren't doctors that know how to treat fibromyalgia. And each doctor that I would see, it would always come back to my weight, which I am actually the heaviest I've ever been right now, considering the time that I was seeing the doctors, I was actually a normal weight. I mean, I guess I'm a normal weight now too, but it was never really my weight. Or them saying it was my state of well-being. So I found a holistic doctor in 2009, and she kind of did a little bit of your typical medical and a lot of holistic, where she did IVs to give you vitamins. And the one thing that she didn't teach me was how to eat differently, which was like the biggest thing.
Which is key.
Yes. And the prescription drugs that she put me on literally drove me crazy. And she couldn't help me anymore. So I was kind of lost for a while there, trying to find a doctor that would listen to me, because I had fibromyalgia, trying to find a doctor or therapist to listen to me because my mental health was already not that great. And now it's destroyed by the medications I was on. And so I did eventually find a therapist and started looking for my own ways of healing. When I found yoga.
Okay.
And I found mindfulness. And I was working with a yoga teacher that taught me nutrition. And she actually taught it through direct sales, which I wasn't okay with, but I was learning a lot.
Yeah.
And it kind of sparked in me, like, I want to know more. Like, there's so much healing that can come from mindfulness and nutrition. I want to learn more, which led me to my schooling.
Okay.
And to where I am now.
So where did you go to school?
I went to Southwest Institute of Healing Arts. It's in Arizona. It was an 18-month program online.
Okay.
And I received a Mind Body Wellness practitioner diploma, which enables me to do life coaching, nutrition coaching, and sustainable living.
Oh, cool.
So,
that's neat.
And through there is where I found intuitive eating.
So what is intuitive eating?
So intuitive eating is it's forgetting all the rules that you've learned so far about eating. And I bring that up because I'm actually working with a coach on my barriers with my business.
Oh, good for you.
And I'm learning it's with everything, it's our relationship to ourselves, relationships that we have with our family, with people we network with, and with intuitive eating, it's our relationships with food. And I found out recently that I am somebody that has to follow rules. I cannot break away from rules. It drives me absolutely nuts.
Okay.
And I guess I'm going to relate that to intuitive eating because a lot of times when I present these workshops, people are like upset with me because they're used to rules. What are the rules to this program? What do I have to let go of? What do I have to deprive myself of? How much work do I have to do? And it's actually it's the opposite of that. There are no goals. You go back to your basic instinct of eating that you were born with before the world kind of conditioned you.
So it's not really a diet.
No, it's not a diet. It's rejecting the diet mentality.
Okay.
Throwing away your scale, which a lot of people have a hard time doing.
Yes.
Learning to feel your hunger and learning to say, I'm allowed to eat because I'm hungry, because we're taught the opposite. Learning to know when to stop, to say, okay, I'm full. It's okay to leave that food on that plate and throw it away. That's one of my hard things, because I was taught growing up,
you eat
everything on your plate. If you don't, it will be there later.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of unlearning all the rules that you've learned and just eating.
So I found, which I know who you study from, is Evelyn Tribble. Was that how you say her name? Tribble?
I think so.
So I found that her intuitive eating workbook. And I have a really hard time because I want to eat food that fuels my body, but you're not, you can eat anything with intuitive eating.
Yes.
Right?
You can.
So I had a muffin the other day, but I didn't feel that good after I ate the muffin. So maybe that is me, intuitively knowing maybe I shouldn't have eaten that muffin. I don't know.
Tell me your self-dialogue around that muffin. Tell me what you were thinking before you ate that.
Well, I thought it was bad because there's sugar in it.
So first you thought there's sugar in this.
Yes.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you feel eating it?
I felt guilty.
Okay. And then how did you feel afterwards?
I felt like poop.
So think,
like my stomach hurt.
Do you realize the energy, if you believe in energy, the energy and self-talk you put into that muffin? So how could you reframe that?
I could just look at it like I'm eating an apple or something.
I wouldn't even compare it to a healthy food.
No?
I would say I'm hungry.
I'm going to eat.
I'm going to eat and enjoy it.
And
I know it's hard. I know it's hard. And clients that I've worked with and in my workshops, this is really hard for people because, and I think especially women, we are conditioned that we can't eat foods that make us happy, that taste good.
Yeah. Because
that we're going to gain weight, that we're going, to feel bad, that, oh my God, there's sugar. And I'm not saying don't think about those things because it's a process of, kind of going back to letting yourself eat whatever you want. And eventually you start eating for health. And then, I had a muffin and it's like no big deal. That's kind of where I am with what I've done. Like I told you, I'm the heaviest I've ever been.
Well, that's what's hard for me with intuitive eating because I want to eat what makes my body feel good. But then, like you said, I'm framing like bad food. I don't want to say bad food because there's no such thing as good and bad food. See, I'm so screwed up with it. But I'm a personal trainer, so I feel like I should look a certain way and be a certain weight, and I'm not that, so I feel guilt around that as well.
I can understand that because I feel that way even doing what I'm doing because
you're helping people with nutrition.
I'm helping people with nutrition, and I feel guilty. You're feeling guilty with that. My exercise is nothing compared to yours, and I actually.
That's okay, and I preach that to people. That's okay as long as you do.
But we have all these ideas of what health is,
yeah.
And the new town that I'm living in, I'm trying to network, and I walked into because it said nutrition on the window, and it said supplements. In my mind, thought nutrition. Oh, I'm going to go in here and network. Well, it ended up being a personal trainer who's a bodybuilder who is looks wonderful, and I'm trying to network. Eating intuitively with him. He took my information and everything.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going with this. But he saw me okay. She's like, what gym do you go to? And I'm like, I don't go to a gym.
Which is totally okay.
And it's okay because that's not how I prefer to exercise. But he was looking down on me because I'm not this personal trainer coming in all buff saying, hey, I'm going to sell you some health. I'm just this ordinary woman of an ordinary size saying, hey, I want to show you some nutrition.
Which is perfectly perfect to be whatever size. But it's so hard because we're off on a tangent away from intuitive eating, but it's so hard because both of us, we're not
selling nutrition the same way.
Yeah, we're not
We're not selling
this
health.
idea. We're not like Instagram models. We're not Instagram models. So it's so hard not to feel guilty not being one and just being okay. But I think that's what probably draws people to us is because we aren't an Instagram model. That's the way I know how to like refer to it. But I don't know how to get over that guilt still. Like I don't know how to get over. Not like you're going to tell me right now how to get over it. Therapy.
You're aware of it.
Yes, I am very aware of it, and I'm aware of like that I need to I need to change my relationship with food, which I think is back to intuitive eating. What intuitive eating is you're changing your relationship with food.
Absolutely. It is your relationship with food, and it's letting go of those rules, I think, is important to know, too. And learning to accept who you are in your body now, because you're not going to be in this body forever. And I have a daughter that's 20, and she's very petite, which I was that at her age, too. And when she starts to get down on herself, she'll ask me, like, advice, and I say, the one thing I'm going to tell you is appreciate your body at every age that you are. And I'm 41, and I can't think about my rolls and my cellulite and my stretch marks because I have a history that got me to this body that I'm in today. And I don't want to, 10 years from now, look back and say, oh, I wish I would have appreciated that body. Mm-hmm. Because I wish I would have appreciated my body at 31 or at 21, and I didn't. I was always thinking, how can I look better?
Yeah.
Because that's what we think health is.
Yes, exactly. How can I, well, and even feel better, but that's what I try to focus on is feeling better. How can you feel better? How do you feel your best? So I just struggle with that good and bad food thing so hard. I struggle with it. Like, I try to tell people, even before I found intuitive eating, I told people not to say cheat days because that sounds so dirty. Say relax. Today I relaxed. But even that still is like, why can't you relax every day?
Well, maybe you could start with reframing, and I don't totally agree with it, but they come in and do a program sometimes with different instructors that I've worked with on the food pyramid, and they would have go foods and woe foods.
Oh, okay.
So their thing is when a kid eats like a cookie, it's a woe food, so maybe start there.
Yeah.
That'll help you. I know that kind of helps me, like, okay, this is a woe food, but I'm not saying it's bad, and I'm not saying I can't have it. I'm just recognizing that this is going to make me feel tired or sluggish.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
If you want to have that and you want to feel tired or sluggish, it might, yeah. Okay. That's okay. It's not good or bad. I keep trying to tell people that too. I'm like, it's not good or bad. It's not good or bad. So you do intuitive eating workshops.
I do.
Can you kind of like tell me what's an intuitive eating workshop?
Well, I try to include, like, I hold the space for women. And I try to include a meditation, some journaling, and some real talk. And what I really like about it is I'm holding the space and I'm letting others talk. And then I'm kind of coming in with some of the input that I have to help them reframe some of the things that you're talking about today, to get them to understand that it's okay to feel full. It's okay to feel your hunger. It's okay to accept your body. Because it's really a lot of unlearning for a lot of women.
Yeah. So we talked about this before we started. I thought intuitive eating was mindfulness. And it's not mindfulness. I mean, there's mindfulness that goes with intuitive eating, I think, but what are your thoughts on like mindfulness and intuitive eating?
I think, well, there's 3 types of eaters. Maybe this will help.
Okay.
The 3 types of eaters are the careful eater, the professional dieter, and the unconscious eater.
Okay.
So think about which one you may think you are.
I think I'm a professional dieter.
Okay. So the careful, I'll start with the careful, and then we'll go there. Are those who tend to be vigilant about what foods they put in their body.
They tend to be what?
And you could be more than one. They are very vigilant about the foods they put in their body, which I've heard you say that.
Okay.
The professional diet are those who are dieting and have likely tried every latest commercial diet or weight loss gimmick. And then the unconscious eating are those who are often engaged in paired eating, meaning they eat and perform another activity. So I know for me, I do a lot of eating in my car.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
So as far as mindfulness, yes, you do become more mindful when you're doing intuitive eating because you're listening to your body and you're listening, okay, I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. And then you're not going to sit in that car and eat. You're going to take the time to actually sit there and eat and savor and eat foods that are satisfying to you, that make you, that aren't only healthy for you, but make you feel good inside.
Okay.
So there is a mindfulness component to intuitive eating.
But it's not just mindfulness.
No, it's not.
It's like so much more than just mindfulness.
Yes.
Which is crazy to me, because I always thought it was just mindfulness. I was kind of like, oh, whatever. I can't be mindful and eat. That's another thing.
But you can't listen to that statement you made. I can't be mindful or eat. You are somebody that is always practicing mindfulness.
I know, it's hard.
So why can't you be mindful and eat?
I can, but I get in my head that I can't, and then I have such a learned behavior of eating fast and eating on the go that, like, I follow this chick on Instagram, and her big thing is your stomach doesn't have teeth, so make sure you chew your food enough. And I don't, and I try to, and I just...
Do you know where where digestion starts in your body?
In your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that, but I don't practice it. I have a really bad relationship with food. I can't even, I can go on forever. I have a horrible relationship with food.
Mm-hmm.
I always think of food as good and bad. I feel guilty if I eat too much. I feel guilty if I eat too little. I have been on a diet since I was 15. I have a terrible relationship with food. I need to come to your workshop.
Yes, you do.
And learn more about intuitive eating, because I need to really develop my relationship with food, because it's, as much as I try to preach to people, do what makes you feel good. Don't worry about how much you weigh, things like that. I am so guilty of doing all those things, which intuitive eating also isn't about what you weigh either. It's not
No, the first workshop that I do, that is what we work on, rejecting the diet mentality, which is really hard for a lot of women. And in doing that, I have everybody get rid of their scales. A lot of people do not want to get rid of their scales. And do not want to stop looking at that number. So that is one of the things we work on. And we work on, as we work through each principle, because there are 10, we also work on getting rid of that fantasy. And I don't think a lot of people have ever heard it called that, but it is a fantasy, that ideal weight. Stop chasing that ideal weight, that ideal body, because you are letting go of so much life and always chasing that fantasy.
So I have on my vision board that I want to weigh 145 pounds. I should probably take that off. Yeah. All right, I'm going to take it off when I get home and cover it up with something. I was going to ask something, and then I totally blanked on what I was going to ask.
And when you're doing intuitive eating, you can gain weight and you can also lose weight. It's like you are gambling if you're somebody that's always watched your weight, which I'm guilty of that.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm not happy with. I'm going to be honest. I'm not happy with my weight right now at all. My ideal weight would be 140. I'm like, if I could get back down there, and I have to constantly tell myself, how important is that to chase that number? How many times have you chased that number and let go of so much living?
Yeah, that's true. I am doing the intuitive eating workbook, and you're supposed to let go of one thing. And I decided to let go of weighing myself. It is so hard not to weigh yourself, especially because there's a scale in the office I sit in. And I just want to weigh myself once a week, even just once a week, because I weigh myself almost every day.
So what if you started with that? A small goal then?
Once a week.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
I allow myself once a week. Or twice a week. And
maybe I'll do it twice a week.
There you go.
I just don't have it even. It's right there, so I just kick the thing and turn it on and jump on, and then it's going up, and it makes me really sad. It does. It makes you feel like crap. So how long do you think, I guess it's different for everybody, but is there a time frame that I'm going to not feel like crap anymore about weighing myself and my weight?
I think it's different for everyone. I don't think that's the thing, there isn't a time limit.
Yeah.
There's no time limit. It's something you have to keep working
on. Forever, probably.
As far as, I don't have the urge to weigh myself anymore.
Okay. Well, that's
that
good.
took a couple years.
I guess because it took us, so I'm 29, so it took me 29 years to learn all these behaviors, so now it's going to take me time.
Yeah, and you're young.
To unlearn them, yeah.
I just recently started doing this work. Don't put a time limit on your accomplishments either, as far as age.
I do that so bad. I have what I need to do by 30. I have so many behaviors I have to let go. I'm a control freak. You haven't noticed by now. Something else I was going to say is that, and I don't know how this can relate to each other, but I feel really good when I eat a ketogenic diet.
Okay.
Like when I eat high fat, because I am bipolar. And what I eat affects my mood.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel really good when I have a ketogenic diet. But how do I eat that way and eat intuitively? Can I do both at the same time, do you think?
That's a really good question. Because I have to watch what I eat too with my fibromyalgia. Because
Yeah.
I have to cut out a lot of gluten and sugar.
Yeah.
But I sometimes like gluten and sugar. And I guess I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to feel crappy. But do you know what I mean? You just kind of get to a point where it's like, I know this is healthy and works for me, but you're not fighting
your urges.
I wouldn't say that you're not fighting your urges. You're allowing yourself to eat what you want to eat without that guilt and shame. So you're like letting go of the guilt and shame, and maybe telling yourself, I'm doing this diet because it makes me feel well. It's good for my mental health, instead of I'm doing this diet because it's the new fad diet and everybody's doing it. Because I think that's kind of where you're going with your thoughts, where I'm just trying. Am I right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're not accepting that I'm doing this diet because it's good for my mental health. Maybe you get to a point of acceptance with that.
So I'm eating it, and it's still being intuitive. I'm intuitively knowing that it makes me feel good to eat this way. Mm-hmm. Well, hold on. It makes me feel good to eat that way, but it doesn't make me feel good to count all those macros. Like, I get obsessed with counting macros, and will plan it down to, like, literally every drink I drink. Well, I only drink coffee, tea, and water, and I don't put sugar in anything, but, like, I mean,
Can you let go of that part?
That's the thing. I think if I could just focus on eating like a higher fat diet for my brain and lower carb, just because that's what makes my brain feel best and makes me function the best, and not
maybe don't do the science
count so much. Yeah. And just try to do it that way. Like,
because that's another part of intuitive eating. You don't do any more counting.
Like no calories or anything.
No, you get rid of that.
Yeah.
Our bodies really aren't made to eat that way.
No, it's not.
We're not. I mean, we're just, our body already knows what to do. It knows how to detoxify and get rid of what it needs to get rid of.
Oh, that's a good question. What do you think about like detoxes?
I know detoxes have helped me.
Okay.
I don't currently do them, but they have helped me. I don't really think intuitive eating says to detox.
Yeah.
None of the literature that I've read. I think that's for each person to decide. If it makes you feel good, I think it's okay. But I don't think it should become obsessive or to a point where it's affecting your health.
Like controlling you even. That's it. Yeah. I'm very controlled by food, which I'm sure most people are. Mm-hmm. So, do you just teach workshops or do you do like individual?
I do one-on-one coaching.
Do you? Mm-hmm. How does that work? Like, do you meet in person? Do you meet on the computer? Can you do both?
I used to do in person, but now I do on computer.
Okay.
Yeah, through one of the nice little video things that are available out there.
So if people were interested in learning more about intuitive eating, they could either come to your workshop or they could. I
do a free 30-minute consultation. So they can contact me through my website or
I'll
my
ask you where
page.
To find everything at the
end.
end.
So they can contact me and we can set up a day and time to do, like I said, we do a free 30-minute consultation and then 2-hour intake and then an hour session. And I usually have people commit to 10 sessions.
Okay. So what are you talking about for 2 hours? Just everything.
With the intake?
Yeah.
The intake, we like go through everything.
Okay. Do you do like
we go through your health, we go through like your past of what you've tried, what hasn't worked. We talk about what goals you do want to make.
So intuitive eating doesn't have anything to do with like exercising because a lot of diets are like you have to diet and exercise.
There is a principle on exercise.
Okay.
There is.
Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, it's exercise feels the difference. And it's more not to concentrate on losing weight, but exercise for health. Something that's closer to what you're comfortable doing.
So like how I want to eat well or I don't want to say how I want to eat a more ketogenic diet because it makes me feel good for my brain. I want to exercise because it makes me feel good, not because I want to lose weight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. I did read too that a lot of people, and I did do this actually. I had to, fill out all the papers and stuff like that, in the workbook. And they said, do you exercise harder when you eat more? Which I think a lot of people do that.
Because they think they need to burn all this calories.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. And then I feel bad. I feel like that's the only thing. I feel guilty if I don't exercise. I just feel guilty all the time. So can you tell me how to get over that too?
Well,
can you just be my therapist right now, please?
It's just, you're aware of it. The first step is being aware of it. You're aware that I feel guilty. That the thing that I make my living from is actually making me feel guilty and shame.
Yeah.
So I think the first step is being aware. And then creating some coping skills around that so that you get to a point where you don't feel the guilt and shame. And that you're doing it out of passion.
Yeah, because I love to work out. I really do. I just get guilty if I don't work out. So, Well, now you've all joined me for this therapy session. So, that's cool. Are there any other, tips, or any tips, I guess I should say, for people who want to, start this journey that you have?
For intuitive eating?
Yeah.
I think...
Besides go to your workshop or get you as a coach?
I think the first tip would be to learn how to reject the diet mentality.
Okay.
Because that is the hardest. To get to a point where you can say, I'm going to learn a new way of fueling my body, using food as fuel.
Is it okay to look at food as fuel? Because that's what I try to coach.
Yes.
Is that food is fuel.
That's what I think. That's what I like.
Okay.
Food is fuel.
Yeah.
Food can heal us. Food can do so many great things for us. But when we are buying into the idea that the only way to be healthy is skinny and starving ourselves in some new fad diet, we're taking away the idea that food is to heal us.
Mm-hmm. And food is, I feel like the number one healer.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yes.
Do you feel like that?
I do.
Yeah, I feel like that's, I'm telling you, I was doing it very strictly and I got obsessed with it. When I did keto last year, for 3 months I did it straight. And my brain never felt so good. I felt so clear. And I'm not telling you to go do the ketogenic diet. I'm telling you to do intuitive eating, really, because I think it's much better. Because I, again, have too much guilt around it. But when I thought about food as fuel and fueled my body, put high quality gasoline in my body as opposed to the cheaper brand, I felt really, really good. My brain worked better, and I think that's important for people to understand too, is that food can really, you said you have fibromyalgia, so what you eat affects how you feel. And I think if people thought food was fuel more often, but I wasn't sure if that was a guilt thing or not.
Well, because I do, along with intuitive eating, I also try to teach people how to get away from the standard American diet and get into more of a organic, unprocessed diet.
Yeah.
Where I'm not saying don't ever eat any of those foods, but if you don't make peace with food, which is another principle, and you don't learn how to honor your hunger and feel your fullness, you're not going to be able to invite in the healthier foods. Most of the foods that I eat are organic and unprocessed. So that kind of relieves some of the guilt that I have when I eat the woe or bad foods.
Yeah.
Because I know that I'm feeding my body healthy foods. Because there is definitely healing in the healthy foods. I know when I eat organic foods and I eat unprocessed foods, I feel better. So yes, I agree with you. Food is fuel.
Okay.
I know I talked in a circle.
Oh, that's good. So you said there's 10 principles.
Mm-hmm.
So is that why it's 10 weeks? Your program? Not really, no.
Not really.
Oh, okay. Do you teach the 10 principles, though?
We do go over the principles. Yes.
Okay. So what do you...
Well, honestly, it depends on each person.
Okay.
Because I don't just coach through intuitive eating. That's if somebody would want it. I've also coached people with whatever ideas they have about nutrition and helping them to create the kind of food plan they want to have in their home. So it's not just intuitive eating. If you would like to incorporate that in there, that's fine. It's just trying to getting away from the standard American diet into a healthy healthy foods that fit your lifestyle.
Okay. But not feeling guilty if you have a woe food.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So it's much more than just.
It's your relationship
Yeah.
with food. It's learning to budget to be able to buy your food, how to not waste food so that you can invite more. I mean, there's so much more to it than just the eating. I call it eating intuitively.
Yeah. That's cool.
So if they want the intuitive eating a part of it, it is a part of it.
Yeah, I think it's super important to have that be a part of it because I feel like everyone's relationship with food is broken, really, because of the diet mentality, because of social media, because of TV, like just every day you see something
what's
new.
More affordable right now. The junk food.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I was like, well, I'm trying to think because I don't really necessarily. I shop on like the outside of the store. I don't really get
Me too.
boxed food or things like that. So I was like, well,
or a lot of us like coupons and bulk shopping, which I would get so frustrated. Like, this isn't working for me because there aren't coupons for healthy foods.
No, there's
and
no
going
coupons
to
for fruits and vegetables.
Going to like Costco and doing bulk buying, I'm not buying foods in a box.
Yeah, exactly. So that goes with it's the soul approach, right?
Yes, soul, seasonal, organic, unprocessed, and local.
Okay. Which, if you think back to like, I'm also a big fan of the paleo diet.
I am too. I followed a lot of that too.
Paleo way of eating because all it is eating real whole foods and eating what our ancestors ate. Which, if you think about it, our ancestors were very intuitive.
Yes.
Because they ate what they could get. That was local. They stopped eating. I mean, I'm sure they stopped eating when they were full. They didn't like shovel it in their face. But I bet you they did a lot of eating and running. Running from a lion.
Yes.
But yeah, I think I'm a big fan of paleo. But I don't even know where I was going with that one. But I do a lot of dieting, I guess. But I do paleo for weight loss instead of for my health. I do it for weight loss.
See, I did it for because it's really good for fiber.
Is it? I think I knew that. Keto's good for a lot of like brain stuff, brain function. That's why I like it so much. Is because really I felt like so clear when I was eating that way, and then slowly I just kind of got lazy and ate food. I'm eating food that fuels me less, I guess, which is okay.
So have you noticed like your yo-yo between your weight
a little
of that diet mentality?
Yeah.
Where intuitive eating will help you maintain a weight. It might not be the weight that you want, but you will start to maintain a weight.
Well, I always go all in or all out too. Like I'm all in keto or I'm all out. I don't, you know what I mean? Or I'm all into paleo or I'm all out. I'm not like, well, I'm gonna eat food that fuels me most of the time, and then, or I'm gonna eat food that fuels me, and then if I feel like having a muffin, I'm not gonna feel guilty about it. I don't do that. Like recently, I've been all out, just basically all out. Like not preparing my food, eating out too much, and then feeling guilty about it. So. Or I do the thing where you don't eat all day and then you eat. I'm horrible. I can't believe I'm telling you people this. Like yesterday, I didn't feel like I was really depressed yesterday. Like I had a really bad day yesterday, and I did not feel like eating at all. And then I ordered Chinese food and ate way too much of it.
And then you got mad at
yourself. Yes. And then I felt like crap about myself. And then I went to bed.
And that's something that when I do one-on-one coaching that we work through.
Yeah.
Through journaling, learning. Like recognizing the feelings you're having before you get the food, while you're eating the food. This is something you could even start, and how you're feeling after the food. Kind of like you were asking before, how do I get rid of the guilt and shame? And that helps you to understand, okay, this is what I'm feeling. It's okay, and to kind of reframe those negative thoughts into positive thoughts. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. If I look confused, I'm not confused at all. I'm like sitting here trying to rethink my whole life right now. So, because like my relationship with food is horrible. I told you earlier, I listened to the 10% Happier podcast, which I know you've done intuitive eating, but I was like, oh, it's mindful. Like I said earlier, it's mindful eating. I can't do that. And then I listened to this podcast. It was weird. I had like a couple things happen in a row where intuitive eating was like thrown in my face, and now this. So it's really like showing me that, like, the universe is like, come on, Callie, get your stuff together. But the guy doing the podcast didn't eat sugar for like years. And now this Evelyn woman is coaching him, and he started to introduce sugar. He wasn't not eating sugar because for good, I don't want to say good reasons, but he wasn't not eating sugar strictly for the way he felt. He was not eating it because he thought that it was bad, basically. And he would like miss out on things at work because he's on TV. He's a news broadcaster.
Oh, okay.
So he would miss out on things at work where everybody else would be having like a donut they would be trying, and he'd be like, no, I can't. I don't have to do sugar. And he's slowly starting to introduce sugar back into his lifestyle and not feeling guilty about it. So that really hit me when he did that. So I was like, wow, he can do that. I can do that. So anyway, that's my tangent for right now. But are there any other like tips?
While you were saying that, I was kind of thinking another thing that I try to have people pay attention to is when you're at work, listen to the conversations that people are having in the break room surrounding food. Because no wonder we feel guilty. Because I know a lot of people know that I do nutrition coaching, and if I'm eating potato chips, they're saying something judgmental, to me. Or
I know some people eat Chinese food. This is like the first time I've been open about eating Chinese food because it's not healthy.
Right, and we need to stop shaming each other.
Yeah.
Not only body shaming, we need to stop food shaming. We need to stop telling people what they should or shouldn't be eating.
Because it's really nobody's business but your own.
And I am one that judges when I'm in a grocery store. I am looking at everybody's cart, and I'm like, stop making judgments.
It's hard though.
It is hard, especially when we're taught that there's only one way.
Yeah. I also am doing this book called May Cause Miracles. It's the second time I've done it, and it's a 40-day guidebook. And one part is on your body and not comparing your body to others in good or bad ways. Like, this is going to sound so bad. I don't want to say it. People like use their body to their benefit sometimes. Like this woman was saying how she would get dressed up and look nice in order to get attention. And it's just like you're making yourself more special, and then you're also making another person more special by judging them on how this makes sense. Hold on, let me think how I can make this make sense. I look at people that are more fit than me, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I had that body, and I make them more special.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
No, I like that is being brought to awareness. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got this in this book. All these books, I love the books. But yes, so I'll look at other people's bodies and make them like more special. Like, oh, I wish I looked like that. So I'm shaming myself still in that way.
That's a good point. That is a really good point and a good thing to bring into our awareness, because I'm guilty of that too.
It's hard though,
Most
not
definitely, because I hate my legs. So in the summer, I love to wear sundresses, but I hate my legs. And then I'm looking at women with nice, long, skinny legs, and I'm like you were saying, oh my God, look at her legs. And that's not fair to that other person either.
It's not fair to either person involved, because that person, like the person in particular that I compare myself to, works really hard for their body. And not that I don't work really hard for my body, but I don't work as hard as she does, I don't think. And I don't even know if that's the right way to think, but I'm judging her, not in a negative way. I'm not like saying anything negative, but I'm judging her based on my own insecurities. So this is totally off intuitive eating. Well, not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
Because it's about talking about, we have to stop body shaming ourselves and others. You're absolutely right. And I like that you put something new into my awareness, where if I'm comparing myself, how that's not fair to myself.
No, it's not fair to either party, I don't think. So yeah, I'm trying to work on that.
And I think as women we need to do that more, because there are people profiting off of our self-doubt.
Oh my God.
And we're hating on each other instead of uplifting each other.
Well, even in both of our careers, people profit off nutrition. Like, there's nothing wrong with profiting off nutrition, but I think teaching it in the right way, like the way you're teaching it. And there's nothing wrong with profiting. Not that we make a boatload of money, because neither of us do. I feel like we're both very affordable for for what we offer. But that's the only thing I have guilt about is money. Oh my God, I'm just guilty about it. I literally have guilt about everything. But where was I going with this? Oh, personal training. People make profit off like, oh, I want to get you this certain weight, or I want to do this for you. And I'm trying to not do that so much anymore with clients. Like, I go a lot by body fat percent instead of weight because if you're at a health, see, I don't even know if I should do that though. Like, should I even do that anymore?
I know some of the books that I'm reading, which I'll get the titles for you, are kind of saying to stop doing that.
Because it's going to just make them feel
I don't know
confident.
that answer. I just know some of the things that I've been reading.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull it out of my coaching business because it's really damaging.
Yeah, because I go by body fat percent and don't even, like, I'll say this is a healthier range for you.
Mm-hmm.
But how do I know what's healthy for them and what's not healthy for them? As long as they're, like, it's just going to stress them out more.
Well, do you realize where those numbers are coming from? This is what kind of helped me, is actually coming from who? The World Health Organization. And the word obese, think about where it came from. And it is actually a way for pharmaceutical companies to profit. Mm-hmm. So maybe that will help you. That's what kind of helped me change my mind, and reading about the history of how we got to a point where we have this war against obesity, and why there are women going to their doctor, because it's happened to me, and we're being told there's nothing physically wrong with you. It's your weight.
Just lose weight.
Exercise more.
Yeah, that drives me nuts. Some people, it really does. I've heard that so many times. Well, my doctor just said I need to lose weight. I just need to lose weight. I mean, people that come in here, like, I mean, I definitely cheer on their accomplishments when they do lose weight. Like, I think it's great. But I more so also say, like, how do you feel in your clothes? But I do go by body fat percent, and I think I want to even quit doing that because I don't want to make them feel guilty. I just want them to feel good. Like, I just want people to come in and work out and eat food that makes you feel good. Like, that all of it just fuels you. Like, exercise fuels you the same way. I just want people to feel good in their bodies and about themselves and not compare to other people and all that. So I'm just off on a tangent again.
No, I like it. No, I like it because it's everything that's a part of intuitive eating. So no, it's great.
Being intuitive eating and intuitive exercising.
Ah.
Maybe I'll create intuitive exercising.
There you
go. Yeah, so interesting. That's a lot to think about.
Yeah, it is.
No wonder it takes 10 weeks. Some people go for 10 weeks and then they want to keep going with you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I would want to keep going.
Mm-hmm. I just kind of have that as a standard, but now you can work that part out.
Yeah. How does the workshops? So you do a workshop. Do you do one workshop? Is it a 4-week course? How does it work?
The workshops are 5 parts.
Okay.
Because there are 10 principles, so I have it broken down where we do a few at each workshop. The workshops are an hour and a half. The first one's kind of an introduction to kind of get you going. The second one, I give homework. So we do journaling when we're there, and then I give you journaling to work on. And I try to have them every other week to kind of give everybody time to process and practice it. Yeah.
It's like yoga. It's a practice.
Absolutely. It is. And even the 5 weeks isn't truly enough, but at least it gets people started.
Yeah. Huh. Well, cool. So that was very interesting. I hope you all enjoyed that because I enjoyed it very much. If no one else enjoyed it, I enjoyed it. Everyone's going to enjoy it. But besides, I'm going to ask you where people can find you on Facebook and stuff like that. But besides that, is there anything that I didn't ask you that I should have asked you?
I don't know. You asked me a lot of things.
I did. I told you it was my therapy session.
I know. You did really great. I guess my most important thing I would like for women to know is to learn how to love yourself and accept the body that you're in. Because that is more important than anything else. If you can't do that, you're not going to be able to have a healthy relationship with food. And if you don't have a healthy relationship with food, you can't invite healthy foods in. And also remember that we already come into this world with a gift of hunger. we know as babies how to be hungry and when to be full. Think about your own babies and how they let us know. So it's really just going back to that basic thing that we were already born with.
Yeah.
And letting go of all the conditioned rules we've been taught.
Yes. That makes sense. I like that we were born in this world to know that if we're hungry and if we're full, which is very true. And I think if we look at our body as a blessing instead of a curse, too.
Our bodies are a blessing.
Exactly.
And we get to give the miracle of life, and then we beat ourselves up after we do.
Because we have stretch marks. I always do that. Another way I compare myself to people and make them more special, like I'll say, well, they haven't had kids yet. They haven't had kids yet. Shut up, Callie. What makes you think that you're better because you had a kid? Like, really, stop being. I'm being judgmental. And I'm not saying they're bad because they didn't have a kid, but I'm comparing my body to theirs because I had a child and they didn't have a child, and I'm being insecure. But again, I'm making them special. I'm not being fair to either one of us. So, yeah, I gotta stop doing that too. I am very conscious of all this stuff, but I still do it. But I'm trying to break the cycle of it.
That's right. You're doing it. You're breaking it.
It takes time.
And then you're helping other women to break it too.
Hopefully. That's
You
the goal.
are.
Hopefully. That's the goal. That's the goal. Cool. So tell me where people can find you online first, and then I'll ask you about your workshops you have coming up.
Okay, so Learn and Grow with Sara Jo is my Facebook page. Also, Learn and Grow sjr@gmail.com is my email.
Okay.
But if you go to my Facebook page, my website's on there.
You have Instagram too.
I do have Instagram, and it's
Is it Learn and Grow?
Sara Jo Learn and Grow, I think.
I'll look it up.
Yes. It's a long name.
Sarah_Jo_Learn and Grow. So if you're looking for her on Instagram, or you can just do Learn and Grow with Sara Jo on Facebook.
Yes.
Or they can email you. Do you have a website?
I do have a website. You can find a link to my website on Facebook.
Okay. And then what are some workshops that you have coming up?
Well, I have, because I do Seeling's Mindfulness for Kids. I have that coming up Friday at Yoga Gaining Holistic Living.
Tell me what Seedlings for Mindfulness is.
Or
Seedlings for Mindfulness, is that what it's called?
Seeling's Mindfulness for Kids.
Seedling Mindfulness for Kids. I'm sorry.
It's for children and parents to learn learn mindfulness.
Oh, okay.
So we usually start with like a meditation, a mindfulness practice, an activity to kind of incorporate that mindfulness mindfulness thing. And then I always like to end with a healthy nutritionist snack.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I kind of put mindfulness and nutrition together for parents to kind of learn some new things to do with their kiddos.
Yeah.
And for kiddos are already good. Kids are already good at
they're super intuitive.
They know how to be mindful. It's us that takes it away, the parents.
Mm-hmm.
So that's coming up Friday, February 7th at 6 o'clock. Yoga Holistic Living.
This won't be out then, but she's doing more in the future, so you can.
Yes, there will be more. There will be more. And Eating Intuitively, I will be doing on March 28th at 1 o'clock at Yoga Gaining.
Okay, this will be out by then. So
yes.
Eating Intuitively
through health.
At YHL, which Emily's on the podcast before, and so is Justine, who does Reiki there. So you know where to find them, and you can check them out. But people can register through their Facebook page,
yes,
correct?
Through YHL.
Yoga Gaining Holistic Living's Facebook page on the event. So when is that again? March
28th.
March 28th. Mm-hmm. And do you have any 5-part series coming up? Because people do listen to it, not from Connell's.
I am working on those. When
okay.
I go to my website.
Okay.
They're going to be posted soon. I haven't put them all up, but I am working on some 5-part.
Okay. And then if anybody wants to do individual work with you, they can just find you on Facebook or email you.
Yes, message me on Facebook and we will set up time to do your free 30-minute consultation and you can decide if it's for you or not.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Healing Whole, the podcast. Don't forget, if you want to, you can leave a review on iTunes. I think you can leave one on Google Play. And you can also find this podcast on YouTube, and you can click subscribe on YouTube, and you'll be updated when the podcasts come out. So also, I'm just doing this whole plugging thing for myself because I never plugged myself before my podcast. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at CallieTonyCPT. You can give it a like or a follow, and it's greatly appreciated. So we will see you next time on Healing Whole, the podcast.